temple that you are seeing on your screens right now was the epicenter of violence that broke out in the Nuh district yesterday. Till now, 45 people have been detained is what sources have indicated to us. But yes, the epicenter of that entire violence in which notorious cow vigilant Monu Manesar was involved started from this very temple. And I'm just reporting from this very temple. If you could see in the visuals over here, this is the kind of situation that developed over here. At least 4,000 people were stuck inside this temple because this message was loud and clear that each and every person who belongs to this Hindu community should be a part of the Shobha Yatra. And now inside the premises of this temple, at least 4,000 people were involved. And now these hills that you are seeing on your screens right now, this became the location from where the initial firing started. People were stuck in this very area for at least 4 to 5 hours, and there was constant firing that was happening from these hills that you are seeing on your screens right now. This actually tells you the entire situation, that how this entire temple premises was landlocked and how people from our community started in fact shooting from these hills. This in fact became one of the biggest strong points between the Hindu and Muslim communities, and this is the exact location from where this entire situation trickled out of hand. People started running from pillar to post to save their lives. The initial riots started from this very location. This is a very famous temple in this Nuh district, and at least 4,000 people, as I already mentioned, were already present in this spot. And not only people but also fellow journalists were also present in this spot, and they had to stay inside the rooms in this temple for at least 3 to 4 hours just to save their lives, because there was constant firing that was happening from these hills that you are seeing on your screens right now. Now, there are a few pertinent questions that still haven't been answered by the administration. The first being that why was the Shobha Yatra allowed when adequate security arrangements were not provided to that Yatra? Was it a failure of local intelligence? Because yes, it seems like that the Muslim community was actually planning this entire incident, and because it has been reported that there were stones that were kept on the atop houses from where suddenly the stones were started to be pelted on people who were a part of that Shobha Yatra, and also the manner in which weapons were used. Was this entire incident planned? That is something that remains to be seen. How did the local intelligence fail? Why was this Shobha Yatra allowed to be taken out when adequate security arrangements were not given to them? At least 3 police officials, in fact home guards, have been shot by bullets that were fired in this entire incident. Several vehicles have been torched. There is a picture of arson that can be seen across the capital and across the Nuh district. So yes, in the next few hours, what we are expecting is that peace committee meeting would be called, in which the senior leaders of both the Hindu and Muslim communities would be called and would be made to sit on a singular table, and in which discussions would happen as to how to make sure that peace is maintained in this entire district of Nuh, which is a part of this Mewat region and which is heavily dominated by the Muslim population. So yes, a few questions that remains unanswered, and also the biggest question as to how quickly can the local police and the local administration make sure that peace returns to this very place. The situation in Nuh at this point in time is absolutely normal. But what happened yesterday has definitely shook the conscience of the entire nation. Currently, I'm reporting from the epicenter of this violence, and to talk more on this and to give us an eyewitness account, I'm being joined by the chief priest of this temple, Deepak Sharma ji. पंडित जी, आप कल यहाँ पर थे, क्या देखा आपने और कितनी देर तक ये जो माहौल है ये खराब रहा यहाँ?
देखिए, श्रावण मास चल रहा है, ये तो आप जानते ही हैं। और जहाँ आप खड़े हैं ये प्राचीन पांडवकालीन मंदिर है, शिव मंदिर है, 5100 साल पुराना। तो यहाँ सुबह से तकरीबन 4 बजे से श्रद्धालुओं का आना जाना लगा हुआ था। तो स्थिति ठीक थी, कोई दिक्कत वाली बात नहीं थी। लेकिन जैसा कि हमने तो बाहर आके नहीं देखा, खैर हम तो मंदिर के अंदर थे, हमें तो अंदर से फुर्सत नहीं थी। तो दोपहर के बाद माहौल यहाँ थोड़ा सा ख़राब हो गया जी। बाहर
कितने लोग फंसे होंगे यहाँ पे? काफ़ी लोग यहाँ शरण लेने आए थे। कितने लोग फंसे होंगे यहाँ पे जब ये इंसिडेंट हुआ पूरा?
ये कोई 2-2.5 हज़ार लोग थे जी।
यहाँ गोलियां चलने की भी काफ़ी बात है, तो क्या इन पहाड़ियों से गोलियां चल रही थी? ऐसी भी आपने कुछ सूचना देखी या सुनी आपने?
देखिए, इस बारे में तो हमें ज़्यादा जानकारी नहीं है, पर ये था कि गेट के बाहर जो भी था दिक्कत परेशानी हो रही थी। हमें तो बाहर आने के लिए भी मना किया गया था, और स्थिति के माहौल को देख के हम बाहर नहीं आए जी। फिर मंदिर में ही रहे, अंदर ही।
आप काफ़ी सालों से यहाँ पर पुजारी हैं, तो ऐसी घटनाएं होती रहती हैं या इस बार हुई? तो इसकी क्या वजह दिखती है आपको, क्यों हुआ ऐसा?
देखिए, पहले तो कोई ऐसी घटना हुई नहीं है इस मंदिर में, और सबसे बड़ी बात यही है कि इसके बारे में हमें कुछ जानकारी नहीं है कि ये किस वजह से हुआ है, किस कारण हुआ है, इस बारे में हमें कुछ पता नहीं है। लेकिन ये माहौल जो है अचानक बिगड़ा है जी।
आपकी प्रशासन से बात हुई, प्रशासन ने कुछ मदद करने की बात कही या आगे का कुछ रोड मैप बताया है, कैसे दोबारा चीज़ों को नॉर्मल किया जाएगा?
देखिए, हमें तो अभी प्रशासन से यही था कि माहौल ख़राब था, तो प्रशासन ने अपना जो है मौके पे आकर जो है माहौल को शांत किया, स्थिति को संभाला। तो उसके बाद प्रशासन से इसके अलावा हमारे पास कोई बात नहीं हुई, लेकिन ये था कि सब सेफली यहाँ से चले गए और शांति बनी हुई है मंदिर के
बहुत बहुत धन्यवाद. So this was the chief priest of this temple, and if you could see in the visuals behind me, these are the temples. This is the main gate of the temple, in which at least 2,500 to 3,000 approximately, some reports are saying, and some police officials are confirming that approximately 4,000 people were stuck inside this temple, and there was constant firing that was happening from the hills that you see on your screens right now. This actually tells a story that how this temple was landlocked and hence was used as a location to attack the people who were part of the Shobha Yatra. Now what remains to be seen as to how quickly can the local administration get their feet on ground and make sure that peace is restored in this entire district of Nuh. But yes, over the last 7 to 8 hours, we haven't heard any reports of any sort of violence that has broken out. But yes, the kind of arson and the kind of violence that broke out yesterday has definitely raised a lot of questions on the preparations of the administration and on the administration giving permission for this Shobha Yatra to be taken out in an area which is heavily dominated by a Muslim population and where there were chances of such violence. Currently, I am reporting from the epicenter of violence that broke out in the district of Nuh. The visuals that you are seeing on your screens right now is the kind of arson that broke out in this entire area, engulfing several vehicles, damaging lots of property, damaging life. At least 3 people have lost their life, in which 2 are said to be home guards. Several people have been injured because of the violence that broke out yesterday. And this is the kind of arson that has happened across the city of Nuh. We can see the manner in which several vehicles were burned in this entire area by the people who were part of that Shobha Yatra and by the people who were rioting and making sure that this Shobha Yatra that was supposed to start from a temple which is approximately a kilometer away from me, that does not happen. And this is the kind of visuals that we are seeing on our screens right now. Is absolutely shocking, because yes, the administration was absolutely not able to get their hands on the situation. The situation spiraled out of their hands very quickly, and that is the reason why there is a massive loss of property is what is being reported at this point in time. In the next few hours, what we are expecting is that a peace committee meeting would be called by the local administration, in which the senior leaders of both the Hindu as well as the Muslim sides would take part, and post that we could expect some sort of normalcy to return in this entire area, because at this point in time section 144 has been imposed, curfew has been imposed, police has been patrolling this entire area, central forces have their boots on the ground, and that is the reason why over the last 7 to 8 hours we haven't heard any reports of any violence that has happened. But yes, these pictures actually tell you the entire story of how situations spiraled out of hand, and the local administration could do little to nothing to stop this massive violence that broke out in Nuh. With video journalist Rama Shankar, this is Anshul Singh for CNN News 18.